Good morning, and welcome to our deep dive into product innovation and new product development. I'm thrilled to guide you through this critical area of modern marketing. Today, we are going to deconstruct the entire journey of a product, from its initial conception as an idea to its eventual adoption by consumers. We'll be moving beyond the basic definitions and exploring the strategic mindset required to succeed in a hyper-competitive market. We will begin by examining the fundamental layers of a product, the core, actual, and augmented, and understand how each layer contributes to customers' perception of value. This is a foundational concept that dictates how a product is designed, marketed, and ultimately, how it performs in the marketplace. From there, we'll shift our focus to the various ways in which marketers classify products. This isn't just an academic exercise. Understanding these classifications is essential for developing an effective marketing mix. We'll look at the differences between durable and non-durable goods, and how consumer buying habits influence whether a product is a convenience item, a shopping product, a specialty good, or an unsought product. We will also touch upon the nuances of business-to-business, or B2B, product classifications, which have their own set of unique characteristics and purchasing dynamics. The heart of our discussion today will revolve around innovation. We'll define what an innovation is from a marketer's perspective and explore the different types, from simple continuous innovations to game-changing discontinuous ones. We'll introduce the concept of design thinking, a human-centered approach to problem-solving that is revolutionizing how companies create new products. This is a powerful methodology that, when applied correctly, can lead to breakthroughs that delight customers and disrupt entire industries. We will also look at how firms methodically develop new products, following a structured 7-phase process. This systematic approach, from idea generation to commercialization, is what separates a flash-in-the-pan concept from a long-term market success. Finally, we'll conclude by exploring the critical processes of product adoption and diffusion. We'll examine the adoption pyramid and the distinct categories of adopters, the innovators, early adopters, early and late majority, and laggards. We will discuss the product factors that influence the speed of diffusion, such as relative advantage, compatibility, complexity, trialability, and observability. By the end of this presentation, you will have a comprehensive framework for understanding how products are born, how they are brought to market, and how they ultimately become integrated into the lives of consumers. This knowledge is not just theoretical. It is a practical toolkit for anyone aspiring to build a successful career in marketing or product management. So, let's get started on this exciting journey. Today's session is structured around a few key learning objectives that will provide a robust foundation for understanding modern marketing strategies. Our first goal is to be able to explain how value is derived from the various layers of a product. This concept goes beyond a simple feature list. A product is not just a physical object, it's a holistic experience. We'll break down the core product, which is the essential benefit a consumer is truly seeking, the actual product, which includes the physical attributes like branding and quality, and the augmented product, which encompasses the non-physical benefits such as warranties and customer service. By the end of this module, you should be able to look at any product and identify how these three layers work together to create a compelling value proposition for the consumer. This multi-layered view is fundamental for strategic product development and marketing communication. It helps marketers pinpoint what customers truly value and ensures that the entire product offering is aligned with those needs, moving beyond just the tangible item itself to the complete experience. Our second objective is to describe how marketers classify products. This is a crucial skill for segmentation and targeting. We'll discuss the two main ways we categorize products, by how they last, durable versus non-durable, and how they are purchased, consumer versus business. Within the consumer category, we'll further segment into convenience, shopping, specialty, and unsought products. We'll explore the distinct characteristics of each category, from the low-involvement purchase of a convenience product like a soda to the high-involvement, extended problem-solving process for a specialty product like a luxury car. Understanding these classifications is the first step in crafting a tailored marketing mix, including the right distribution channels, pricing strategies, and promotional efforts. For a marketer, Misclassifying a product can lead to significant strategic errors, such as placing a specialty good in a convenience store or using mass advertising for a niche, high-effort item. This framework provides the intellectual scaffolding needed to make informed decisions about how to bring a product to market. Finally, we aim to understand the importance and types of product innovations. In a world of rapid technological change and shifting consumer preferences, innovation is no longer a luxury but a necessity for survival. We will define what constitutes an innovation in marketing terms, distinguishing it from a mere improvement. We'll look at the three main types of innovations: continuous, dynamically continuous, and discontinuous. We'll use compelling examples to illustrate these concepts, such as a new flavor of ice cream, continuous, the transition from a flip phone to a smartphone, dynamically continuous, or the invention of the internet, discontinuous. This section will also introduce the concept of disruptive innovation, where a new product or service creates a new market and value network, eventually displacing established market leaders. Understanding these innovation types is vital for any business trying to stay competitive and relevant. It helps us anticipate market shifts and strategically position our products for future success, rather than just reacting to competitors. Continuing with our learning objectives, our fourth goal is to show how firms systematically develop new products. This is where we move from the theoretical to the practical, examining the 7-phase new product development (NPD) process. We will walk through each step, starting with phase 1, idea generation, where we will discuss how companies gather ideas from both internal and external sources, including customers, employees, and competitors. Following this, we will move to phase 2, product concept development and screening, where these ideas are filtered and refined into more concrete concepts. This stage involves market research to gauge customer interest and feasibility. Phase 3, marketing strategy development, focuses on creating a preliminary marketing plan for the product, outlining target markets, positioning, and the initial marketing mix. Phase 4, business analysis, is a crucial step where the product's commercial viability is assessed, including financial projections and profitability analysis. This is where many products are culled from the process if they don't meet financial hurdles. Phase 5, technical development, is where the product concept becomes a reality, as engineers and R&D teams work to create and refine a physical prototype. This is often the most resource-intensive phase. Phase 6, test marketing, involves launching the product in a limited geographic area to gauge its performance and fine-tune the marketing mix before a full-scale launch. Finally, phase 7, commercialization, is the grand launch of the product into the full market, supported by full-scale production, distribution, and promotional campaigns. Understanding this structured process is vital for managing risk and maximizing the chances of a new product's success. It provides a roadmap that, while not always linear, ensures a disciplined and thorough approach to bringing something new to the market. Our final objective for today is to explain the processes of product adoption and diffusion. Adoption is a micro-level concept that focuses on the individual consumer's journey from learning about a product to becoming a regular user. We will use the adoption pyramid to illustrate this process, from initial awareness to interest, evaluation, trial, and finally, adoption and confirmation. This model helps marketers understand the customer's mindset at each stage and tailor their communication accordingly. Diffusion, on the other hand, is a macro-level concept that looks at how an innovation spreads throughout an entire social system. We will explore the classic diffusion of innovations theory and its 5 categories of adopters, innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, and laggards. We will also discuss the product characteristics that influence the speed of diffusion, such as relative advantage, compatibility, complexity, trialability, and observability. By grasping these concepts, marketers can not only predict how a new product will be received but also strategically manage its rollout to accelerate its acceptance among different consumer groups. This knowledge allows for a more targeted and effective approach to market entry and growth, ensuring that the hard work of product development translates into real-world success. Let's open our discussion with a real-world marketing challenge that highlights the complexities of product strategy on a global scale. We're going to put ourselves in the shoes of a marketing manager at Mary Kay, a global powerhouse in the cosmetics industry, as they face a critical decision regarding their expansion into the lucrative but highly competitive Chinese market. The core issue is this: how should Mary Kay approach its color cosmetics business in China? The company has three distinct strategic options, each with its own set of potential benefits and significant risks. Option 1 is to leverage the broad range of color makeup products that are already sold globally under the Mary Kay brand. The immediate advantage of this approach is efficiency and consistency. The company wouldn't need to invest heavily in new product development, as the existing product line has already been researched, formulated, and tested for a global audience. This strategy relies on the strength of the established Mary Kay brand and its reputation for quality, hoping that what works in the West will also resonate with Chinese consumers. However, the risk here is a lack of market fit. The color preferences, skin tones, and beauty standards in China may be vastly different from those in other markets. A product line designed for a global average might fail to capture the specific desires of the Chinese consumer, leading to poor sales and a damaged brand reputation. It's a one-size-fits-all approach in a market that often demands bespoke solutions. Option 2 is to create an entirely new line of color cosmetics developed specifically for the China market. This is the most resource-intensive and high-risk option, but it also carries the potential for the greatest reward. By starting from scratch, Mary Kay could conduct extensive local market research to understand the unique preferences, cultural nuances, and competitive landscape in China. They could formulate new shades, textures, and packaging that are perfectly aligned with what Chinese consumers want, potentially creating a product line that becomes a market leader. This strategy demonstrates a strong commitment to the market and shows that the company respects local tastes. The major drawbacks, however, are the immense costs and timelines associated with new product development, R&D, and supply chain creation. There's no guarantee of success, and a failed launch after such a significant investment could be financially devastating. Option 3 is to adapt a successful regional color line, Mary Kay at Play, for the China market. This is a middle ground approach that seeks to balance the risks and rewards of the other two options. Mary Kay at Play is already a proven concept, so the company could benefit from existing product knowledge and consumer feedback from other markets. The adaptation process would be less costly and time-consuming than creating a brand new line, as it would likely involve modifying existing formulas and shades rather than starting from the ground up. This approach allows for a degree of customization for the Chinese market without the full-scale investment of a brand new line. The challenge, however, is determining how much to adapt. If the changes are too minor, the product might still feel generic and fail to connect with local consumers. If the changes are too significant, the company might lose the brand equity and proven success of the original at Play line. This option requires a delicate balance between global consistency and local relevance. Ultimately, this case study forces us to think about the complexities of international marketing and the critical strategic choices companies must make when entering new territories. The phrase "build a better mousetrap, and the world will beat a path to your door" is a famous old adage that has long been a guiding principle for innovators and entrepreneurs. It suggests that if you simply create a technically superior product, success is guaranteed. However, as we will learn, this is a dangerous oversimplification in the complex world of modern marketing. The old saying assumes that consumers are rational actors who will always choose the best product based solely on its functional attributes. The reality, however, is that a product's success is about much more than just its core function. It's about perceived value, and that value is a multifaceted concept that goes far beyond a simple better mousetrap. A classic example of this is the story of Woodstream Corp's Little Champ Mousetrap. This product was, by many accounts, a technically superior device. It was safer, more humane, and easier to use than the traditional snap trap. From an engineering perspective, it was a better mousetrap. Yet, it failed in the marketplace. Why? Because it didn't provide a value proposition that resonated with a consumer. The traditional snap trap was cheap, effective enough for most people, and had been a staple in households for generations. Consumers didn't perceive enough added value in the little champ to justify a change in their purchasing habits. They were not actively looking for a better mousetrap. They were just looking for one that worked. This failure illustrates a critical lesson. A product can be an engineering marvel, but if it doesn't solve a problem the customer feels is significant enough to warrant a change in behavior, it will not succeed. So, what is the secret to product's success if it's not just about functional superiority? The answer lies in providing value. A successful product is not just a collection of features, it is a bundle of attributes that work together to create a positive experience for the customer. This bundle includes not just the product's functions and benefits, but also its brand image, its packaging, and its overall use experience. Think about the products you use every day. Why do you choose a particular brand of smartphone, a specific type of coffee, or a certain car? It's not just because they are the absolute best at their core function. You buy them because of the brand image they project, the design of their packaging, the ease of use, and the emotional connection you feel to them. The brand of a luxury car, for example, conveys a sense of status and achievement. The sleek packaging of a new gadget creates a feeling of excitement and anticipation. These are all part of the bundle of attributes that contribute to a product's value. Marketers must understand this holistic view of value and communicate it effectively to consumers. It's not about what the product is, it's about what it does for the customer, both functionally and emotionally. To truly understand a product and its value proposition, marketers use a conceptual framework known as the layers of the product. This model helps us to move beyond a simplistic, one-dimensional view of a product and see it as a holistic offering composed of three distinct layers. A product, in this sense, is more than just a physical good or service. It represents everything a customer receives in an exchange. The successful marketer understands and manages all three layers to create a compelling and comprehensive value proposition. The first, and most fundamental, layer is the core product. This represents the essential, intangible benefit that a customer is truly buying. It's not the product itself, but the solution to the customer's problem or the fulfillment of their need. For a car, the core product is not the engine or the wheels. It is the benefit of transportation. For a smartphone, it's not the glass screen or the processor, it's the benefit of communication and connectivity. For a hotel room, the core product is rest and shelter. Identifying the core product is the most critical first step for any marketer because it forces you to think about the customer's perspective and what they are truly seeking. All other product decisions flow from this foundational understanding. Misidentifying the core benefit can lead to a product that is functionally sound but strategically misplaced. The second layer is the actual product. This is the tangible, physical good or service itself, along with all its attributes. This is what most people think of when they hear the word product. It includes the product's features, design, quality level, brand name, and packaging. These are the elements that a marketer can manipulate to create a product that is appealing and differentiated. For our car example, the actual product would include the car's engine size, color, interior design, brand name, e.g., Toyota Camry, and the workmanship. These are the aspects that customers can see, touch, and feel. A marketer's job is to ensure that these physical attributes are aligned with the core benefit and are crafted to meet the specific needs and desires of the target market. The brand name, for instance, can convey a sense of quality, luxury, or affordability, adding a crucial layer of meaning to the actual product. Finally, we have the augmented product. This layer consists of the non-physical, added value benefits and services that come with the product. These are the elements that often differentiate a company's offering from its competitors, especially in markets where the core and actual products are similar. The augmented product includes things like warranties, guarantees, customer support services, delivery, installation, and credit options. For a car, the augmented product includes the 4-year, 50,000-mile warranty, the roadside assistance program, the dealer preparation before delivery, and the availability of low-interest financing. In the case of a budget airline like Spirit, the core product is transportation from point A to point B, the actual product is the plane and the seat, and the augmented product is minimal. There are no frills, which is a key part of their value proposition. The augmented layer is crucial for building customer loyalty and creating a lasting positive experience beyond the initial purchase. A strong augmented product can turn a one-time transaction into a long-term customer relationship. This figure provides a powerful visual representation of the product layers model we just discussed. This diagram is not just a theoretical construct, it's a practical tool for marketers to deconstruct and analyze any product offering. On the left side of the diagram, you see the general attributes associated with each layer. On the right, we apply those general attributes to a specific, tangible example, the automobile. This dual-sided approach helps solidify our understanding of how the model works in practice. At the very center of the diagram, you see the core product. The arrows pointing out from this central circle illustrate the basic benefits the customer is looking for. For a car, these benefits are transportation, carrying cargo, excitement, and image enhancement. It's important to note that these are benefits, not features. Transportation is the benefit of the car's function, carrying cargo is the benefit of having storage space, excitement is the emotional benefit of driving a high-performance vehicle, and image enhancement is the social benefit of owning a car that projects a certain status. A good marketer never loses sight of these core benefits. They are the ultimate reason a customer makes a purchase. Surrounding the core product is the actual product layer. This is where we find all the tangible, physical components. For the automobile, the diagram lists features such as engine size, color, interior design, body size, and the model name, like Camry or Corolla. These are the visible and measurable attributes that customers use to make comparisons between different products. The quality of the materials and the overall appearance are also part of this layer. Marketers spend a great deal of time and effort perfecting these attributes to create a product that is not only functional but also aesthetically pleasing and brand aligned. The model name, for instance, is a crucial part of the actual product as it becomes a brand identifier and can carry significant meaning and equity for the consumer. Finally, the outermost layer is the augmented product. The arrows in this section point to all the extra benefits and services that are included with a purchase. For a car, this includes the 4-year, 50,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty, dealer parts and a repair department, dealer preparation prior to delivery, the owner's instruction manual, a low-interest auto loan, a toll-free customer complaint number, and free lubrication and oil changes. These augmented features are often what close the sale. In a market where many cars are technically similar, a superior warranty or a better customer service policy can be the deciding factor for a consumer. These services and benefits are critical for building customer trust and loyalty. They extend the customer's experience beyond the initial purchase and can be a source of competitive advantage. This figure perfectly encapsulates how a product is a bundle of these 3 layers, each contributing to the overall value proposition. Now that we have a solid understanding of the different layers of a product, we can move on to the next major topic: how marketers classify products. Product classification is a fundamental concept in marketing because it provides a framework for developing effective strategies. By categorizing products, we can better understand our customers' behavior and needs, and in turn, craft a more appropriate marketing mix that includes the right pricing, distribution, and promotional tactics. This process is not about putting products into rigid boxes. Rather, it's about understanding the underlying consumer psychology and business processes that dictate purchasing decisions. Marketers primarily classify products based on 4 main criteria. The first criterion is based on how consumers feel about, purchase, and consume the products. This is the consumer-centric view. For example, some products are bought without much thought, while others require extensive research and consideration. This difference in buying behavior is a primary driver of how we classify them. By understanding the typical decision-making process for a product, a marketer can predict customer needs and develop a strategy that aligns with that behavior. For instance, a product that is typically purchased on impulse would require a marketing strategy focused on prominent in-store placement and eye-catching packaging, whereas a product requiring a lot of thought would need a strategy focused on providing detailed information, product comparisons, and expert advice. The second criterion is based on how long a product lasts, which is a simple but important distinction. We categorize products into either durable or non-durable goods. Durable goods are those that provide benefits over an extended period, often for months, years, or even decades. Examples include cars, furniture, and major appliances. The purchase of a durable good often involves a higher financial investment, a longer decision-making process, and a greater need for augmented services like warranties and maintenance. Non-durable goods, on the other hand, are consumed over a short period, such as magazines or a carton of milk. These are typically low-cost, frequently purchased items that require a different marketing approach, often focusing on brand loyalty and wide availability. The third and fourth criteria relate to the different types of customers. We classify products based on how consumers buy them, and separately, how businesses buy them. Consumer products are bought by the end user for personal use, while business-to-business, B2B products are bought by organizations to be used in their operations, to create other products, or for resale. The buying behavior of these two groups is fundamentally different. Consumers are often driven by emotional and personal needs, whereas business customers are typically driven by rational, economic considerations such as cost, efficiency, and return on investment. The marketing mix for a consumer product like a smartphone is very different from the marketing mix for a B2B product like a server rack, which is why this classification is so important. Understanding these classifications is the first step in creating a marketing plan that is targeted, relevant, and effective for the specific audience you are trying to reach. A foundational way to classify products is by their lifespan, or how long they are expected to last and provide value to the consumer. This simple distinction has profound implications for a product's marketing strategy, from pricing and promotion to distribution and after-sales service. We divide products into two main categories: durable goods and non-durable goods. Understanding the differences between these two is critical for any marketer. Durable goods are defined as consumer products that provide benefits over an extended period. This could be a matter of months, several years, or even decades. The key characteristic of durable goods is their longevity and their ability to withstand repeated use. Think about the major purchases in your life: your car, your refrigerator, your couch, or your television. These are all durable goods. The purchase of these items is typically a high-involvement decision for the consumer. It often requires significant financial investment, research, and a careful consideration of various options. Because of this, the marketing for durable goods is vastly different from that of non-durable goods. For durable goods, marketers often focus on the product's quality, long-term value, and durability. The augmented product layer, which includes things like warranties, after-sales service, and technical support, is extremely important. A strong warranty can be a major selling point for a durable good, as it provides a sense of security and reduces the perceived risk of a high-cost purchase. Additionally, the distribution channels for durable goods are often more specialized, such as car dealerships or appliance stores, where knowledgeable salespeople can assist with a complex decision-making process. Non-durable goods, in contrast, are products that are consumed quickly or over the short term. These are the items we buy frequently and with little effort. Examples include groceries like milk and bread, everyday items like a magazine or a newspaper, or personal care products like shampoo. These products are often referred to as consumer packaged goods, CPG, or fast-moving consumer goods, FMCG. The marketing for non-durable goods is focused on a completely different set of goals. Since these products are purchased repeatedly and often on impulse, the emphasis is on brand loyalty, wide availability, and strong promotional campaigns. Think about how many brands of soda or snack food are competing for your attention on a grocery store shelf. The goal is to make the product readily available in as many retail outlets as possible and to build a brand image that encourages repeat purchases. Pricing for non-durable goods is typically low, and the profit margins are often thin, so the success of these products depends on high sales volume. The packaging is also a key marketing tool, as it needs to be eye-catching and informative to stand out in a crowded marketplace. The distinction between durable and non-durable goods is a simple but powerful one that dictates a wide range of marketing decisions. From product design to advertising strategy. Another essential way for marketers to classify products is by understanding the buying behavior of their consumers. This approach moves beyond the physical attributes of a product and focuses on the psychological and behavioral aspects of the purchasing journey. We categorize products based on the amount of time, effort, and thought a consumer is willing to put into purchase. This classification is directly tied to the concepts we discussed earlier about consumer decision-making, such as habitual decision-making, limited problem-solving, and extended problem-solving. By understanding where a product falls on this spectrum, marketers can tailor their strategy to align with how consumers naturally approach the buying process. At the lowest end of the effort spectrum are products bought through habitual decision-making. These are items a consumer buys routinely, often without conscious thought or a great deal of information gathering. For a marketer, the challenge with these products is to build and maintain strong brand loyalty. Consumers often stick with a brand out of habit or convenience. The marketing for these products, which we'll cover in more detail when we discuss convenience products, focuses on maintaining a consistent brand presence and ensuring the product is widely available and easy to find. The consumer isn't going to spend time comparing every brand of milk. They will typically reach for the one they know or the one that is most accessible. In the middle of the spectrum, we have products that require a limited problem-solving approach. For these purchases, the consumer is willing to put in a moderate amount of effort to gather information and compare alternatives. This might be something like a new pair of shoes or a home appliance. The consumer isn't going to spend weeks researching, but they will likely compare a few brands, read some reviews, and consider the price and features before making a decision. Marketers of these products need to provide accessible and clear information, whether through in-store displays, online product descriptions, or comparison charts on their website. The goal is to make it easy for the consumer to see why their product is the better choice without overwhelming them with data. At the highest end of the spectrum is extended problem solving. This applies to products that are expensive, complex, or carry a high degree of perceived risk. The purchase of a new car, a home, or a major technological device falls into this category. Consumers will spend a significant amount of time and effort researching, comparing, and evaluating alternatives. They will seek out information from multiple sources, including friends, family, experts, and online reviews. The marketing for these products is intensive and informative. Marketers need to provide detailed product specifications, offer test drives or demonstrations, and ensure that their brand is perceived as trustworthy and authoritative. The sales process is often longer and more consultative, with sales representatives playing a key role in guiding the customer through the decision. Understanding these different levels of consumer effort is crucial for a marketer, as it dictates the level of detail in the promotional messaging, the type of sales channel used, and the overall strategy for bringing the product to market. This figure provides an excellent overview of how marketers categorize products, clearly dividing them into two major branches: consumer products and business products. This diagram is a roadmap for understanding the different strategic approaches required for each type of market. A marketer's job is to know exactly where their product fits into this hierarchy, as it determines everything from who the target audience is to what the appropriate price point should be. On the left side, we have the main classifications for consumer products. These are goods and services purchased by the final consumer for personal use. The categories are convenience products. As the name suggests, these are products bought with minimal effort. They are typically low-cost, non-durable goods like staples, milk, bread, impulse items, candy at the checkout counter, or emergency products, a bandage. The key marketing strategy here is wide distribution and high visibility. Shopping products. For these goods, consumers will spend a reasonable amount of time and effort to gather information and compare alternatives on price, quality, and features. Think of items like computers, smartphones, or furniture. The marketing for these products is more informational, emphasizing competitive advantages and product benefits. Specialty products. These have unique characteristics that are important to buyers who are willing to make a significant effort to find them. This is often an extended problem-solving purchase. Examples might include a specific brand of luxury car, a custom-tailored suit, or unique piece of art. Marketers for these products focus on creating a unique brand image and exclusivity, as brand loyalty is often high. Unsought products. These are products that consumers have little or no awareness of or interest in until a need arises. Life insurance, funeral services, or new tires for a car after a flat are classic examples. Marketing for these products often relies on personal selling and intensive advertising to raise awareness and create a sense of urgency. On the right side of the diagram, we see the classifications for business products, or B2B products. These are goods and services purchased by organizations for use in their operations or for resale. The categories are equipment. These are capital goods, also known as installations, that are used in daily operations over a long period. Examples include large machinery, computer systems, or a company's fleet of vehicles. The purchasing process is often complex, involving multiple decision makers, maintenance, repair, and operating. MRO goods. These are essential, but consumed relatively quickly. Think of things like office supplies, paper, pens, cleaning supplies, or computer printer toner. They are typically purchased in bulk with a focus on convenience and cost effectiveness. Raw materials. These are basic products of industries like agriculture and mining, such as wheat, iron ore, or lumber, which become part of a final product. The purchasing of raw materials is often dictated by price and a long-term supply relationship. Processed materials and specialized services. Processed materials are raw materials that have been transformed but have not yet become a final product, e.g., sheet metal. Specialized services are essential services that are not part of the final product itself, such as legal or accounting services. Component parts. These are manufactured goods or sub-assemblies that become a part of the final product, such as a car engine or a computer chip. The purchasing decision is based on quality, reliability, and cost. This figure serves as a vital conceptual tool, showing that the product itself is only one part of the marketing equation. The consumer and the business customer are distinct, and the purchasing habits require fundamentally different marketing strategies. The first category of consumer products we'll discuss is convenience products. These are items that consumers purchase frequently, with little thought or effort. The defining characteristic of a convenience product is the minimal level of involvement from the consumer in the purchasing process. They are typically non-durable goods or services that are low-priced and widely distributed, making them easily accessible. The consumer is not going to spend time comparing brands or prices for these items. They simply need to satisfy a need quickly and efficiently. Marketers of convenience products must understand that the key to success is not about convincing the consumer to buy their product through a complex argument, but rather about making it the most accessible and visible option at the moment of need. We can further break down convenience products into three subcategories. The first is staples, which are basic necessities that consumers buy on a regular, routine basis. Examples include milk, bread, toilet paper, and sugar. The consumer knows what they need and typically buys the same brand or a well-known alternative out of habit. For marketers of staple products, the focus is on maintaining high brand recognition and ensuring the product is always in stock at as many retail locations as possible. Promotions are often geared towards loyalty programs or small discounts to encourage repeat purchases. The battle is won in the aisle, not through a long, drawn-out marketing campaign. The second subcategory is impulse products. These are items purchased without any prior planning or search effort. Think of the candy bars, gum, or magazines strategically placed near the checkout counter at a grocery store. The purchase is triggered by an immediate desire or a sudden thought that the product looks appealing. A powerful marketing tool for impulse products is geofencing marketing, where a company uses a consumer's location data to send them a targeted message, such as a coupon for a soda, when they are near a convenience store. The key for marketers of impulse products is to make the product highly visible and desirable at the point of purchase. The packaging and in-store displays must be eye-catching and persuasive in a matter of seconds. The final subcategory is emergency products. These are items that a consumer buys when they have an urgent need. For example, a bottle of water on a hot day, a shovel during a snowstorm, or a flashlight during a power outage. The consumer's primary concern in these situations is to solve the immediate problem, and price is often a secondary concern. The marketing for emergency products is about ensuring they are available where and when they are most needed. While not a conventional marketing effort, having a well-stocked pharmacy or a roadside convenience store can be the most effective marketing strategy for these types of goods. In all three cases, the overarching theme for convenience products is that consumer effort is minimal, and therefore, marketer effort must be focused on availability, visibility, and brand recognition rather than complex persuasion. Moving up the ladder of consumer effort, we arrive at shopping products. Unlike convenience products, for which consumers invest minimal time and effort, shopping products are goods and services for which consumers are willing to expend a significant amount of time and energy to gather information and compare alternatives. The decision-making process for these products is a form of limited or extended problem solving. This is where the consumer actively engages in a search for the best option, evaluating products based on a number of factors, including price, product attributes, and quality. The products in this category are typically more expensive and are purchased less frequently than convenience items. Examples of shopping products include computers, smartphones, major appliances like a refrigerator or a washing machine, and automobiles. The purchase of a new smartphone, for instance, is not something most people do on a whim. A consumer will likely visit several stores, read numerous online reviews, compare technical specifications like processor speed and camera quality, and evaluate the different pricing plans offered by various carriers. The consumer is looking for the best value, and they define value not just by the lowest price, but by the combination of price and performance that best meets their needs. For marketers of shopping products, the strategy shifts dramatically from that of convenience products. The focus is no longer just on wide distribution and high visibility. While accessibility is still important, the primary goal is to provide comprehensive and persuasive information that helps the consumer during their evaluation phase. Marketers need to highlight their product's competitive advantages in a clear and compelling way. This is achieved through detailed product descriptions on websites, in-store product demonstrations, and a sales force that is knowledgeable and well-trained. Advertising for shopping products is often more informative and detailed, emphasizing key features, durability, and a strong value proposition. The goal is to influence the consumer's decision-making process by making it easy for them to compare and contrast. Furthermore, the retail environment for shopping products is different. While a convenience product can be sold at a gas station, a shopping product is typically sold in a retail environment where comparison is possible. This could be a large electronics store like Best Buy, a department store, or a car dealership. The sales personnel in these locations play a crucial role, as they can provide expert advice and answer questions that a consumer might have after their initial research. The rise of e-commerce has also had a major impact on shopping products, as consumers can now do extensive research and compare thousands of products online from the comfort of their home. For this reason, having a strong online presence, including a detailed website, a strong social media presence, and positive customer reviews, is a necessity for any company selling a shopping product today. At the very top of the consumer effort pyramid are specialty products. These are goods and services that possess unique and highly desirable characteristics that are so important to buyers that they are willing to make a significant effort to obtain them. The consumer's decision to purchase a specialty product is not based on a simple comparison of price and features, but on a deep, emotional connection to the product's attributes, brand, or status. The purchasing process for a specialty product is a form of extended problem solving, but the consumer is not necessarily comparing a wide range of alternatives. Instead, they are often already decided on a specific brand or item and are focused on finding it, regardless of the effort required. Think of a person who is a dedicated watch collector. They might have their heart set on a specific Rolex model. They are not going to a watch store to compare a Rolex with a Fossil. They are going to a specialized retailer, and they are willing to travel, wait, and pay a premium to get the exact watch they want. Other examples of specialty products include a specific model of a luxury car, a custom-designed piece of jewelry, or a designer handbag. These products often have a high price tag and are associated with a certain lifestyle or social status. The consumer's loyalty to the brand is often a defining characteristic. They are not just buying a product, they are buying into a brand's story, heritage, and values. For marketers of specialty products, the strategy is less about persuading the customer to choose their brand over a competitor's, and more about creating and maintaining a unique and powerful brand image. The focus is on building exclusivity, desirability, and a sense of luxury or craftsmanship. The marketing mix is tailored to this high-involvement audience. Distribution channels are highly selective, often consisting of exclusive retail stores or specialized dealerships. You won't find a Ferrari at a regular car dealership, just as you won't find a Gucci handbag at a department store. Pricing is typically premium, reflecting the product's unique value and the high costs associated with its design and craftsmanship. Promotion is often targeted to a niche audience through high-end magazines, exclusive events, or social media campaigns that emphasize the brand's unique story and heritage. The marketer's job is to ensure that the brand stands out and is perceived as worth the effort, time, and money the consumer is willing to invest. The loyalty of customers to these brands is often very high, as they are not just satisfied with a product, but they are emotionally invested in it. The Wavabreak media image of a woman feeding her dog and showing that dog owners are willing to splurge on high-quality food is a great example of this. Where a specialty pet food can command a higher price because of the strong emotional connection the owner has to their pet's well-being. The final category of consumer products we will examine is unsought products. These are goods and services that a consumer has little or no awareness of, or interest in, until a need for them arises. Unlike the other categories where consumers either seek out the product or buy it with minimal effort, with unsought products, the consumer is not actively looking for them. This creates a unique challenge for marketers, as they must first create awareness and then demonstrate the value of a product that the consumer isn't naturally considering. The most common examples of unsought products are those that are purchased in response to an unexpected life event or a looming sense of future necessity. Life insurance is a classic example. Most people don't wake up in the morning and decide they want to go out and buy life insurance. The need for it is often triggered by a major life event, such as getting married, having a child, or a family member's passing. Similarly, retirement plans and investments are often unsought products. While people know they should be saving for retirement, they don't actively seek out complex financial products until a financial advisor or a company benefits package brings it to their attention. Other examples include funeral services or a new pair of tires for a car after an unexpected flat. In all these cases, the consumer's purchase is reactive rather than proactive. Given this low level of initial interest and awareness, the marketing strategy for unsought products is fundamentally different. It requires a great deal of effort to get the product in front of the consumer and to persuade them of its importance. This is why aggressive advertising and, most importantly, personal selling are key. A salesperson for a life insurance company, for example, is not just there to answer questions, they are there to create the awareness and explain the need for the product. They must be able to articulate the risks of not having the product and convince the consumer of the value of the protection it offers. The advertising for unsought products is often designed to create a sense of urgency or to tap into emotions like security and responsibility. The marketing messages often focus on what the consumer stands to lose by not purchasing the product, rather than what they stand to gain. In the case of products like new tires for a car, the marketing is less about an aggressive sales pitch and more about being available at the right time and place. A tire shop that is easily accessible and has a good reputation is the best marketing tool for a consumer who has a flat tire on the side of the road. Ultimately, the challenge for marketers of unsought products is to overcome consumer inertia and a lack of initial interest. This requires a proactive, often high-touch approach to marketing that prioritizes building trust and demonstrating the product's value in a way that resonates with the consumer at the moment of need. Just as we categorize consumer products, marketers also have a distinct framework for classifying business-to-business, B2B products. The way organizations purchase and use products is fundamentally different from how individual consumers do. and understanding this difference is crucial for any company operating in the B2B space. B2B products are not bought for personal use but for the purpose of running an organization, creating other products, or for resale. The purchasing decisions are typically more rational, driven by economic considerations, and often involve multiple people in a buying center. The core principle behind B2B product classification is how organizational customers use the products. A piece of machinery used on an assembly line is a B2B product, but so is the office paper used by a secretary. Both are used by the organization, but their role in the company's operations is vastly different. By classifying these products based on their use, marketers can gain a deep understanding of their customers' needs and challenges. This knowledge is invaluable because it allows marketers to do two very important things. First, it enables them to improve product designs. For a company that sells specialized equipment to a manufacturing plant, understanding how that equipment is used in the daily operations, its role, its required uptime, and its integration with other systems, is critical. This understanding allows the marketer to work with the R&D and engineering teams to design products that are more efficient, reliable, and better suited to the customer's specific needs. It's the difference between selling a generic machine and selling a purpose-built solution that solves a real business problem. The focus shifts from a one-size-fits-all product to a customized solution that provides a clear return on investment for the customer. Second, this classification allows marketers to craft an appropriate marketing mix. The marketing mix for a B2B product is very different from that of a consumer product. For a B2B product, the promotional efforts are often more technical and informational. The focus is on demonstrating the product's value proposition through case studies, white papers, and direct sales presentations, rather than through mass advertising. The pricing is often based on long-term contracts and volume discounts, rather than a fixed retail price. The distribution channels are also more direct, with products often sold through a company's own sales force or through specialized distributors. The salesperson in a B2B environment is a consultative partner who helps the customer find the best solution, rather than a simple transaction facilitator. Understanding the use-based classification of B2B products is the first step in creating a marketing strategy that is not only effective but also aligned with the complex needs and purchasing behaviors of organizational customers. The categories we'll discuss next: business equipment, MRO goods, raw materials, processed materials, and component parts. Each have their own unique marketing requirements that are all dictated by how the product is used in the business. Now let's get into the specifics of B2B product classification. The first three categories we'll discuss are equipment, MRO goods, and raw materials, each of which plays a distinct role in an organization's operations and requires a unique marketing approach. First, we have equipment, also known as installations or capital equipment. These are major, high-cost goods that are used in the daily operations of a business over a long period. Think of the large manufacturing machinery in a factory, the server racks in a data center, or the fleet of trucks owned by a logistics company. These are not purchased frequently, and the decision to buy them is a major strategic one for an organization. The purchasing process is typically long, involves multiple decision makers, and is based on a detailed analysis of the product's performance, reliability, and total cost of ownership. The marketing for equipment is highly technical and consultative. Marketers focus on providing detailed specifications, demonstrating the product's long-term value, and offering strong after-sales support, including installation and maintenance contracts. The sales force is often composed of highly skilled engineers or technical specialists who can speak the customer's language and address their specific needs. The emphasis is on building long-term relationships and trust. Second, we have maintenance, repair, and operating, MRO, goods. These are essential for the operation of the organization but are consumed relatively quickly. Examples include office supplies like pens and paper, cleaning supplies, and repair parts. Unlike equipment, MRO goods are low-cost, high-volume items. The purchasing decision for MRO goods is typically a routine, low-involvement process. The marketing strategy for MRO goods is all about convenience, reliability, and cost-effectiveness. Marketers often focus on building long-term relationships through supply contracts and online portals that make it easy for the customer to reorder. The goal is to become the go-to supplier for a company's MRO needs by offering competitive pricing, consistent quality, and a smooth procurement process. Think of the convenience of being able to reorder office supplies with a single click, or having a janitorial service that automatically restocks your cleaning supplies. Third, we have raw materials. These are the basic products of agriculture, fishing, lumber, and mining industries that become a physical part of the final product. Examples include iron ore for steel production, wheat for baking, or cotton for textiles. The purchasing of raw materials is a highly specialized process, and the marketing is often based on price, quality, and a long-term supply relationship. These are not branded products in the same way consumer goods are, as they are typically bought in large quantities based on a set of technical specifications. The marketing focuses on securing long-term contracts and ensuring a consistent and reliable supply. The marketer's role is to act as a partner, ensuring the customer has the raw materials they need to keep their production line running smoothly. These three categories, while all B2B products, require fundamentally different marketing strategies due to their distinct roles in the organizational buying process. Continuing our discussion of B2B product classifications, let's explore the final three categories: processed materials, specialized services, and component parts. These items, like the ones we've already discussed, are essential to a business's operations but are differentiated by their role in the production process and the value chain. First, we have processed materials. These are products that have been transformed from their raw state but have not yet become a final product. Think of sheet metal, chemicals, or yarn. They are used in the manufacturing of other products. The key difference between processed materials and raw materials is the level of transformation they have undergone. While a raw material like iron ore is a basic product of mining, sheet metal is a processed material that is made from that iron ore. The marketing for processed materials is often technical and specification driven. The customer is typically a manufacturer who has a very specific need for a material with certain properties, such as a specific thickness, strength, or chemical composition. The marketing focus is on quality control, reliability of supply, and competitive pricing. The relationship with the customer is often long-term and based on a detailed understanding of their production process. Second, we have specialized services. These are services that are essential to the organization but are not a part of the actual production of a product. Examples include legal services, accounting, consulting, and market research. These services are often outsourced to a third party because it is more efficient or because the company lacks the in-house expertise. The marketing for specialized services is highly relational and trust-based. The customer is not buying a physical product, they are buying expertise and a solution to a specific business problem. The marketing mix for these services is focused on building a strong reputation, demonstrating a track record of success, and highlighting the unique expertise of the service provider. The sales process is often consultative and involves building a deep understanding of the customer's needs before proposing a solution. A company is not going to hire a law firm based on a mass advertisement. They are going to hire them based on their reputation, expertise, and a personal recommendation. Finally, we have component parts. These are manufactured goods or sub-assemblies of finished items that an organization needs to complete their own goods. Examples include a car engine, a computer chip, or a seat for a car. These are products that are bought by a company and then assembled into a final product. The purchasing decision for component parts is based on a number of factors, including quality, reliability, cost, and the supplier's ability to meet production schedules. The marketing for component parts is highly technical and strategic. The focus is on providing a product that meets a specific set of engineering standards and on building a long-term supply relationship. The price is often negotiated based on volume and a long-term contract. A car manufacturer is not going to switch engine suppliers on a whim. The decision is a strategic one that involves a great deal of research and a detailed understanding of the supplier's capabilities. These three categories, along with the previous ones, provide a complete picture of the B2B landscape and the diverse marketing strategies required to succeed in it. In today's fast-paced business environment, the concept of disruption has become a central theme in marketing. The old model of incremental improvements is no longer enough to stay competitive. Companies must constantly innovate to survive. We'll start by defining innovation from a marketer's perspective. For marketers, an innovation is anything that customers perceive as new or different. This is a crucial distinction. It doesn't have to be a brand new technological breakthrough. It can be a minor alteration to an existing good or service, a new business model, or a new way of delivering a product. For example, a new flavor of soda is an innovation to the customer, even if the underlying technology is the same. A new app that lets you order food delivery in a more convenient way is an innovation, even if the concept of food delivery isn't new. This customer-centric definition of innovation is what drives modern marketing strategy. The concept of innovation is closely tied to creativity, which is the phenomenon in which something new and somehow valuable is created. Innovation is the application of creativity to solve a problem and create value for the customer. But how do we foster this creativity and turn it into marketable innovations? The answer, for many leading companies, lies in a methodology called design thinking. Design thinking is a process that draws upon logic, imagination, intuition, and systemic reasoning to explore what could be, and to create desired outcomes that benefit the end user, the consumer. It's often referred to as a human-centered design approach because it places the customer's needs, desires, and problems at the very heart of the innovation process. The traditional approach to innovation was often a linear, top-down process where a company would come up with an idea, build it, and then hope the market would accept it. Design thinking turns this on its head. It starts with a deep and empathetic understanding of the customer. The process typically follows a 5-step, non-linear model. Empathize, where you gain a deep understanding of the customer's needs. Define, where you clearly articulate the problem you're trying to solve. Ideate, where you brainstorm a wide range of creative solutions. Prototype, where you build a just realistic enough model of your solution. And test, where you get feedback from real users and refine your prototype. This iterative process, which we'll cover in more detail, is what allows companies to create products that are not just technically sound, but also truly useful and delightful for the consumer. Design thinking is a powerful tool for gaining an edge over competitors by ensuring that innovation is not a random occurrence, but a disciplined, repeatable process that is focused on solving real human problems. This figure provides a clear, step-by-step overview of the design thinking process. This isn't a rigid, linear pipeline. Rather, it's an iterative cycle that teams can move back and forth through as they learn and refine their ideas. The power of this model lies in its human-centered approach, starting with the end user and building from there. The first step is empathize. This is the foundation of the entire process. It's about more than just surveying customers. It's about gaining a deep, empathetic understanding of their needs, desires, pain points, and motivations. Marketers and designers use techniques like interviews, observation, and ethnographic studies to immerse themselves in the customer's world. For example, a company creating a new kitchen gadget wouldn't just ask people what they want. They would spend time in people's kitchens, watching how they cook, what frustrates them, and what brings them joy. This deep understanding is what prevents teams from building products that no one actually needs. It's about building a connection with the user and seeing the problem from their perspective. The second step is define. Once a team has gathered a wealth of information from the empathize stage, they need to synthesize it and clearly articulate the core problem they are trying to solve. This isn't a problem from the company's perspective. We need to increase sales. It's a problem from the user's perspective. Users need a more efficient way to chop vegetables. The definition also includes outlining the key assumptions and risks associated with a problem. A well-defined problem statement is a guiding star for the rest of the process, ensuring that the team is focused on a meaningful and solvable challenge. The third step is ideate. With a clear problem statement in hand, the team can begin to generate a wide range of creative solutions. This is the brainstorming phase, where quantity is prioritized over quality. The goal is to generate as many ideas as possible, No matter how wild or seemingly impractical, techniques like mind mapping, sketching, and worst possible idea brainstorming can be used to break free from conventional thinking. The point of this stage is to open up the creative floodgates and not settle for the first good idea. The ideation phase is crucial for innovation because it encourages teams to explore a diverse set of possibilities before narrowing down on a single approach. The fourth step is prototype. This is where the ideas start to become tangible. A prototype doesn't have to be a fully functional product. It can be a sketch, a simple cardboard model, or a clickable wireframe. The goal is to create a just realistic enough representation of the solution that can be shown to users for feedback. The purpose of a prototype is to fail fast and fail cheap, allowing the team to test their assumptions and quickly iterate on the design. Finally, the fifth step is test. This involves getting feedback on the prototype from real users. The testing phase is a critical reality check, as it reveals whether the solution actually solves the user's problem. The feedback from this stage often leads the team back to an earlier stage in the process, perhaps to redefine the problem, generate new ideas, or refine the prototype. This iterative loop is what makes design thinking so powerful. It ensures that the final product is not just a guess but a well-tested, human-centered solution that is likely to succeed in the market. Innovation is a broad term, so to better understand its impact and manage the development process, marketers categorize innovations into three distinct types. This framework helps us to understand the degree of change a new product represents for the consumer and, in turn, the kind of marketing effort required to make it a success. The three categories are continuous, dynamically continuous, and discontinuous innovation. The first type, and the most common, is continuous innovation. This is a modification to an existing product that requires no new learning from the consumer. The consumer can continue to use the product in the same way they always have, but with a small improvement. Think of a new flavor of an existing soda, a new color option for a car, or a minor software update on a smartphone that adds a new feature without changing the core functionality. These innovations are often easy for consumers to adopt because they don't disrupt their daily habits. The marketing for a continuous innovation is typically focused on communicating the newness of the product and encouraging the consumer to try it. A subcategory of continuous innovation is a knockoff, which is a new product that copies, with slight modification, the design of an original product. These are common in the fashion and consumer electronics industries. The second type is dynamically continuous innovation. This is a more pronounced modification to an existing product that requires a modest amount of learning for consumers to use. The change is significant, but it doesn't fundamentally alter the way people live. A good example is the transition from a flip phone to a smartphone. While both are mobile phones, a smartphone required consumers to learn a new interface, new ways of interacting with apps, and new ways of connecting to the internet. Similarly, the introduction of a digital camera was a dynamically continuous innovation from a film camera. It still served the core purpose of taking pictures, but it required the consumer to learn how to store, view, and share digital photos. The marketing for a dynamically continuous innovation needs to bridge the gap between the old and the new. It must educate the consumer on the new features and benefits, while also reassuring them that the product is still easy to use and provides a superior experience to what they are used to. Finally, we have this continuous innovation. This is the most significant type of innovation, as it creates a major change in the way people live. These products require consumers to learn a great deal in order to use them effectively, and they often create entirely new markets and industries. Examples of discontinuous innovations include the invention of the personal computer, the internet, the television, and the automobile. Before the invention of the television, there was no television industry. Before the internet, there was no e-commerce. These innovations fundamentally changed social behavior, communication, and commerce. The marketing for a discontinuous innovation is a Herculean task. It involves not just selling a product, but also educating the public on why they need it and how to use it. The challenge is to overcome consumer resistance to change and to make the product indispensable. These are the innovations that truly disrupt markets and reshape the world. Let's delve deeper into the two most common types of innovations we see in the marketplace. Continuous and dynamically continuous. While both represent a change to an existing product, the key difference lies in the degree of consumer learning required. This distinction is critical for marketers because it dictates the level of educational effort needed to successfully launch a new product. A continuous innovation is a subtle change, a tweak, or an improvement to a product that the customer is already familiar with. The consumer doesn't have to learn anything new to use it. They can pick up the new version and use it in exactly the same way they used the old one. Think of a new model year of a car with a slightly updated grille or a new feature on the dashboard. The core function and user experience remain the same. The introduction of a new flavor of ice cream or a new scent of a household cleaner are also perfect examples of continuous innovation. The marketing for these products is relatively straightforward. The focus is on a simple message, new and improved, or now with a new flavor. The goal is to get the customer to try the new version, often through promotional offers or a simple mention in an advertisement. A special type of continuous innovation, as mentioned before, is the knockoff. These products are designed to imitate a popular brand with minor changes to avoid legal issues, but they still represent a continuous innovation in that they don't require any new learning from the consumer. A dynamically continuous innovation, on the other hand, represents a more significant change. It's a pronounced modification to an existing product that requires a modest amount of learning for the consumer. While the core benefit of the product remains the same, the way the consumer interacts with it changes. A great example of this is the transition from a film camera to a digital camera. The core benefit of taking pictures was the same, but the way a person took pictures, stored them, and shared them changed dramatically. They had to learn about memory cards, file formats, and how to transfer images to a computer. Another example is the shift from a traditional TV to a smart TV. The core benefit of watching TV is the same, but the consumer must now learn how to navigate a new interface, connect to Wi-Fi, and access streaming apps. The marketing for a dynamically continuous innovation must be more educational. It needs to not only highlight the new benefits, but also reassure the customer that the new product is easy to learn and that the learning curve is worth the effort. Marketers must use demonstrations, tutorials, and clear instructional materials to help the consumer bridge the gap from the old to the new technology. This is a critical step in overcoming consumer resistance to change and accelerating the adoption of the new product. The image of a sriracha bottle on an ice cream cone is a fun and interesting way to show a continuous innovation by finding a new way to use an existing product, although the product itself is not new. At the pinnacle of innovation is the discontinuous innovation. This is a product that doesn't just improve an existing solution, it fundamentally changes the way people live, work, and interact with the world. To qualify as a discontinuous innovation, a product must create a major paradigm shift, and its adoption requires consumers to learn a great deal in order to be able to use it effectively. These are the innovations that create entirely new industries and consumption patterns, and they often render existing technologies and ways of life obsolete. Think of the invention of the personal computer. Before the PC, computing was a specialized activity performed by large organizations with complex, room-sized machines. The PC brought computing to the masses, but it required consumers to learn a new operating system, new software, and a new way of working and creating. It wasn't a better typewriter, it was an entirely new tool that changed how we write, do business, and communicate. The advent of the Internet is another perfect example. Before the Internet, information was disseminated through physical media like books, newspapers, and television. The Internet created a new medium for communication, commerce, and information sharing, but it required everyone to learn how to navigate websites, use search engines, and communicate via email. The slide rule and the scientific calculator are another great historical example. The calculator made the slide rule instantly obsolete and required a new form of input and learning for anyone who needed to do complex calculations. The marketing of a discontinuous innovation is a monumental task. The challenge is not just to sell a product, but to sell a new way of life. The marketer must educate the public on the core benefits of the new technology and convince them that the learning curve is worth the effort. The marketing messages often focus on the what if you could have all the information in the world at your fingertips. What if you could communicate with anyone, anywhere, instantly? The initial market for a discontinuous innovation is often small, composed of innovators and early adopters who are eager to embrace new technology. The marketing strategy is focused on these early segments, with a goal of creating a critical mass of users that will eventually lead to mass adoption. The television, the telephone, the automobile, all of these were once discontinuous innovations that faced an uphill battle to gain acceptance, but once they did, they became so deeply integrated into our lives that we can't imagine a world without them. These are the truly transformative products that change history. Two other important concepts in the world of innovation are convergence and disruptive innovation. While they are related, they describe different aspects of how new products come to market and reshape industries. Convergence is the coming together of two or more technologies to create a new system. The most iconic example of convergence in our lifetime is the smartphone. Before the smartphone, we had separate devices for making phone calls, taking pictures, sending text messages, browsing the internet, and navigating with a GPS. The smartphone converged all of these functions into a single, pocket-sized device. This convergence created a new product category that was far more convenient and powerful than the sum of its parts. Similarly, the smart TV is a convergence of a television set and a computer. The smart refrigerator is a convergence of an appliance and a tablet. The key takeaway with convergence is that it often takes existing, known technologies and combines them in a novel way to create a product that is perceived as a significant step forward. The marketing for a converged product focuses on the convenience and integrated benefits of having multiple functions in a single device. Disruptive innovation, a concept famously introduced by Clayton Christensen, describes a process by which a product or service creates a new market and value chain and eventually disrupts an existing one, displacing established market, leading firms, products, and alliances. The key word here is disrupts. A disruptive innovation is not a product that is immediately better than what's on the market. In fact, it often starts out as a lower quality, lower cost alternative that serves an overlooked segment of the market. Over time, the technology improves, and the disruptive product begins to appeal to the mainstream market, eventually displacing the established players. A classic example is digital photography. The first digital cameras were low resolution and expensive compared to film cameras, but they were convenient because they didn't require film and a darkroom. They first appealed to amateur photographers who valued convenience over quality. Over time, the quality of digital cameras improved, and they eventually became so good that they completely disrupted the film camera industry. A firm that leads a disruptive innovation can gain a powerful first-mover advantage, which is the competitive benefit of being the first to enter a market. LinkedIn, for example, was a first mover in the professional social network space and has maintained a dominant position ever since. However, the first mover advantage is not a guarantee of success. Many companies fail because they don't have the resources to sustain a long-term fight against established competitors. The key to successful disruptive innovation is to focus on a new market and a new value chain, rather than trying to compete directly with existing products. This allows the company to grow and mature without a direct confrontation with the established players until the product is ready to challenge them head-on. The creation of a new product is not a random, chaotic process. In most successful organizations, it is a well-defined and systematic journey known as the new product development (NPD) process. This process is a disciplined approach that guides an idea from its initial conception to its full-scale commercial launch. The NPD model is not just a theoretical framework, it's a practical roadmap that helps companies manage the inherent risks and costs of innovation. This process is deeply intertwined with a company's research and development, R&D expenditures, which serve as a central metric for measuring an organization's commitment to innovation relative to its rivals. A company that invests heavily in R&D is signaling that it is serious about bringing new products to market and is willing to accept the financial risk that comes with it. The NPD process is typically broken down into 7 distinct phases. Each phase is a gate that an idea must pass through before it can proceed to the next step. This phased approach is a risk management tool. It allows a company to stop the process at any point if the idea is no longer viable, thus minimizing financial losses. The more an idea progresses through the phases, the more resources are committed to it, so the earlier a bad idea is killed, the better. This systematic approach stands in stark contrast to the old adage of build a better mousetrap. It acknowledges that even a great idea needs to be rigorously tested, refined, and strategically brought to market. The process is a combination of creativity and discipline, where a wild idea is subjected to a series of checks and balances to ensure it has a real chance of success. The first phase is idea generation, where the company collects a wide range of new product ideas from both internal and external sources. The second is product concept development and screening, where these ideas are filtered and refined. The third is marketing strategy development, where a preliminary marketing plan is created. The fourth is business analysis, where the product's commercial viability is assessed. The fifth is technical development, where the product is engineered and a prototype is created. The sixth is test marketing, where the product is launched in a limited area to gauge its performance. And the seventh and final phase is commercialization, which is the full-scale launch of the product into the market. This entire process is a complex dance of cross-functional teams, from engineers and designers to marketers and sales professionals, all working together to bring a product to life. The Lego Ideas Project, where users can submit their own Lego creations, is a great real-world example of how companies can use a systematic process to generate ideas and even co-create with their customers, which we'll discuss in a moment. Understanding the 7-phase process is a prerequisite for any aspiring product manager or marketer. Figure 8.5 provides a clear visual flow of the 7 phases of the new product development (NPD) process. This diagram is more than just a list of steps. It represents a logical and disciplined approach to innovation. Each box in the diagram is a critical stage that a new product idea must pass through, and the arrows represent the flow of the process. While it looks linear, in reality, the process is often iterative, with teams moving back and forth between stages as they learn and refine their product. The diagram serves as a powerful reminder that bringing a new product to market is a complex undertaking that requires a structured and well-managed approach. The process begins with Phase 1, idea generation. This is the creative fuel for the entire process. Ideas can come from a variety of sources, both internal and external. Internally, a company might get ideas from its employees, its R&D department, or its sales force, who are on the front lines and have a deep understanding of customer needs. Externally, ideas can come from customers themselves, through surveys or social media, or from competitors and market trends. The goal of this phase is to generate a large number of ideas, with the understanding that most of them will be screened out later. The more ideas, the better. The process continues with Phase 2, product concept development and screening. In this phase, the ideas are evaluated for their technical and commercial success. A product concept is a detailed version of the new product idea stated in meaningful consumer terms. The company will screen the ideas to weed out those that are unfeasible or inconsistent with the company's strategy. This is a critical step for risk management, as it allows the company to kill a bad idea before it consumes significant resources. Phase 3, marketing strategy development, is where a preliminary marketing plan is created. This includes identifying the target market, outlining the product's positioning, and developing a plan for the 4 Ps: product, price, place, and promotion. Phase 4, business analysis, is a more rigorous financial assessment. The product's commercial viability is assessed, including financial projections on sales, costs, and profitability. If the numbers don't add up, the idea is killed. Phase 5, technical development, is where the product becomes a reality. Engineers and R&D teams work to create and refine a working prototype. This is often the most expensive and time-consuming phase of the process. Phase 6, test marketing, is a crucial step for managing risk. The product is launched in a small geographic area to test the full marketing plan and gauge customer response. This provides a real-world test before a full-scale launch. Finally, Phase 7, commercialization, is the full-scale launch of the product into the market. This is the culmination of all the hard work and planning, where full-scale production, distribution, advertising, and sales promotion are begun. This diagram shows the logical progression of a new product from an idea to a fully launched product and highlights why a systematic process is so vital for success. We will now begin our detailed exploration of the 7 phases of the new product development (NPD) process, starting with phase 1, idea generation. This is the creative and collaborative starting point for any new product. The goal of this phase is to generate a large number of product ideas from a wide variety of sources. It's a quantity over quality approach at this stage, as the goal is to cast a wide net and gather as many concepts as possible before they are filtered and refined in later stages. Marketers use a variety of sources to come up with ideas for new products, both from within the company and from the outside world. From within the organization, ideas can come from the R&D department, which is constantly working on new technologies and scientific breakthroughs. But ideas don't just come from scientists and engineers, they can also come from the sales force, who are on the front lines and have a deep understanding of what customers are asking for, and from the company's employees. Many successful companies have employee suggestion programs that can be a great source of new product ideas. A smart company knows that every employee, regardless of their role, can be a source of innovative thinking. However, the best ideas often come from external sources. The most important external source is the customer. Companies can get ideas directly from customers through surveys, feedback forms, social media, and focus groups. A powerful approach is value co-creation, where companies collaborate directly with customers, salespeople, and other stakeholders to develop products together. The Lego Ideas Project is a perfect example of this, where customers are invited to submit their own ideas for new Lego sets. Another important external source is competitors. By analyzing a competitor's products and marketing campaigns, a company can identify a gap in the market or a way to improve on an existing idea. Suppliers can also be a source of ideas, as they often have a deep understanding of new materials or technologies. Finally, market trends, technological changes, and social shifts can all be a source of new product ideas. For instance, the growing trend of sustainability has created a demand for new eco-friendly products. The key to successful idea generation is to have a structured and open-minded process that encourages creativity and collaboration from all directions, ensuring that the company has a constant flow of fresh ideas to feed its innovation pipeline.